So before I start this faith talk, I just want to say I hope you guys are all doing well and that you guys are staying safe this quarantine. So here goes my faith talk. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9 says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." Think about those words. Be strong and courageous. The Lord your God is with you wherever you go. These are verses of comfort, saying that no matter what is going on in life, you don't have to worry because God will always be with you. I'd like to share a story of something that happened to me the second semester of my freshman year. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I wasn't putting that much effort into school. In fact, I was putting more effort into my fantasy football team than I was into my English class. Sorry, Miss K. In addition to that, I felt an incredible distance from God, even though I went to Mass every Sunday, paid attention in my religion classes, and went to confirmation class. Things went on like this for a while, until I finally reached a breaking point. About halfway through the semester, I went through my first breakup. My grades began to suffer, my friendships began to suffer, and my relationship with God began to suffer. I was so devastated for those few weeks that I was so lost I needed to find something to get out. Little did I know that a few weeks later, I would get that life-changing experience that I needed. So, a few weeks later, we get an email from my confirmation leader who tells us that we're going to have a meeting on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Now, this was weird for a few reasons. First of all, we had never had a meeting on Tuesday. Second of all, our meetings usually ended at 8 p.m., not started at 8 p.m. So, I was very confused and I didn't really know why we were having that meeting, but I decided to go anyway. And when I got there, only a fraction of the people showed up. The directions that we were given were simple. We were going to be doing an hour of adoration with praise and worship music in the background. And I was very upset at this at first because I didn't really like praise and worship music. In fact, I didn't even know Oceans at the time. But either way, I decided that I was going to give it a chance. I went into the church and I found a pew and I kneeled down and closed my eyes. At that moment, I whispered to myself, "Where are you? I need you." And all of a sudden, I was flushed with a new emotion and a new presence inside me, and I felt the presence of God in my life. And I was flushed with the idea that, do not be afraid, I am with you, I am with you. And at that moment, I hate to admit it, but I broke down there in that church. It was the first time in a while that I felt that presence of God, and I didn't know how to take it. So, I decided I needed to change something. So for the first time in a year, I went to confession, and I left the building that day with a newfound energy and a new goal. From that point on, I was going to work harder than ever to change my life. And I was only able to do that through God. It took a while for me to get used to that, but after a while, I made up with my old friends, I made some new friends, and I even met my best friend, who is still my best friend to this day. And I attribute all of that to God, because there were so many failures and successes in that time, but none of that, I was never able to do any of those successes without the presence of God. And after that, I ended up becoming a campus minister, and I'm in music group, so I actually know praise and worship music songs, and I've listened to Oceans more times than I can remember. What I'm trying to say to you guys is, God is always with you. There are going to be times when you feel a darkness enveloping you, but God was always fighting back for you. And that's really the thing that's comforting about God. It's that no matter what's happening, He will always welcome you back and He will always give you strength. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." No matter what happens, God will hold you up and give you strength. God is always with you and He loves you incessantly. So if you guys take anything from this faith talk, I implore you to remember this. If you open yourselves to God, you'll witness His loving presence in your life. Because as I said earlier, God is always with each and every one of you guys. Thank you for listening.